Allow us to live, allow us to have the ability to continue living, Father God. May we not take it for granted, but may we continue in the way of redemption, Father God, into the way of life. Bless those who are here, bless those who are not here, Father God. Increase the lives of those who throughout the four corners of the earth who are calling upon your name, who are seeking your face now on their particular journey with you, Father God, whether they are 10 years in or 1 month in, Father God. They are seeking you. So may you be with them and may you show them your works and your wonders are behind their life, and may their faith be strong enough to persevere through times of adversity. May you give us each those around us, Father God, who will hold on to us if we are falling, that we may not fall, Father God, for you said it is not functional for man to be alone. And woe unto the one who is by himself. So, Father God, may you continue to gather like-minded individuals, those who first and foremost want to adhere to all of your word, and secondly want to build family. And may anything, God, that is in any of our households, Father God, that is unlike you, it is no longer welcome. But we pray, God, that you cast it out, that it may not return. Whether it be doubt, whether it be strife, whether it be fear, whether it be idolatrous spirits, Father God, adulterous spirits. May you cast them out of our households. That we may have peace, Father God. May shalom return, may joy return, may unity, the mindset of being a God return. That our households may be representations of what you have called them to be. So now, God, may you heal those who are sick, spiritually, mentally, or physically, Father God. May you make them whole. May they seek you above all else for their completeness. May you give traveling mercies to all those who are on their way here or anywhere else, Father God, to fulfill your Shabbat. So now, God, bless your name, God. Bless you, God. Bless you who comes in the name of God, Father. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well, the ordinances read by myself. Would you be able to do the ordinances, Akeem? Or are you? If not, I can do them. You said what? Okay. Say it one more time, Akeem.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
I say you got it. You can take it.
Bless it there. First ordinance is in the book of Exodus. Be'in Greek Shemot. Chapter 19, starting at verse 1. It reads, in the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were going forth out of the land of Israel, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, for they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mountain. And Moshe went up unto Elohim, and Yahweh said, call unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shall you say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Israel, ye have seen what I did into the Mitzrayim, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and a set apart nation. These are the words which you shall speak unto the children of Israel. And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which Yah commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that Yah has spoken, we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto Yahweh. Hallelujah. Let's now go to the book of Wa'ikra. Commonly called Leviticus chapter 26, starting at verse 40. It reads, if they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers, with their trespass, which they trespassed against me, and that they also have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humble, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Yaakov, and also my covenant with Yitzchak, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Shabbats, while she lies desolate without them. And they shall accept the punishment of their iniquity, even because they despise my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes. And yet for all of that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, slightly. Neither will I abhor them to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. For I am Yah, the Elohim. But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Mizraim, in the sight of the nations, that I might be the Elohim. I am Yahweh. These are the statutes and judgments in Torah, which Yah made between him and the children of Israel, in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moshe. Hallelujah. Our last ordinance is in the book of Yekezekiel, commonly called Ezekiel, chapter 36, starting at verse 22. And it reads, therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus said Adonai Israel, before my set apart namesake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, where ye have went, and I will sanctify my great name. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus said Adonai Yahweh, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, before my set apart namesake, which ye have profaned among the nations, where ye have went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the nations, where ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the nations shall know that I am Yahweh, says Adonai Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the nations and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all of your filthiness and from all of your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. I will put my ruach within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. Ye shall keep my judgments and do them. Ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
But the ticket image, Rabbi Akeem Shema.
We read from Shemot, commonly called Exodus, chapter 20, starting from verse 1. Again, I'll be reading from Shemot, commonly called Exodus, chapter 20, starting from verse 1. It reads, the Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Yah the Elohim, which has brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Elohims before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, that is in the earth beneath, that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yah the Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, but showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah the Elohim in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it set apart. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all that work. For the seventh day is the Shabbat day, Yahuwah the Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yah made the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that in them is. The rest is the seventh day. Wherefore Yah blessed the Shabbat day and holiday. Honor thy father and thy mother, that day may be long upon the land which Yah the Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet, thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, or anything that is thy neighbor's. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. Ve'ahavta et Yahuwah Eloheinu b'kol levav b'kol nefesh b'kol me'odika. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of thy might. Hallelujah. 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 Worship. See about hallelujah belongs to you. A conversation. Hallelujah belongs to you. My hallelujah belongs to you. My hallelujah belongs to you. My hallelujah belongs to you. You deserve. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Hallelujah. My hallelujah belongs to you. 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 Okay, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Are there any hallelujahs, anything I want to give thanks to the Creator for? Anything that He has revealed to you to reveal to us, or any way that you want to express yourself now is the time to do so. Hallelujah. Good.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I want to give praise to the Most High for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Recently, I was reflecting on my life, the things that happened to me, the situations that I was in, and I would always see certain things that happened to me as a problem or a burden or pointless. And now, as I reflect on my life, I'm starting to see how certain situations, certain things that happen to me, I'm actually benefiting from those situations and actually helping in my walk. And I also want to give praise to the Most High just for keeping me alive on this earth and giving me an opportunity to serve Him and be a light to others.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Anybody else with hallelujah? What Akeem?
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I just want to give this prayer just to I want to give thanks to the Creator for family, for love of others, compassion of others, and to remember through the things to continue to be yourself.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Absolutely. Lord Akeem, y'all got to speak up. I don't know if people want to over here, y'all.
Shabbat shalom. I just want to give praise to the Most High for another day, to be able to get it right. I just want to thank Him for shelter, water, for heat, for food. I was kind of thinking about earlier about how a couple of years ago, or just in life in general, about how we do things and we don't know who we're doing it for or what we're doing it for. And I just want to praise the Most High because now I am now aware of who I'm doing it for, what I need to do it for. So praise the Most High for more understanding and the grace that He gives us every single day.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Dang, it's nothing like purpose. Talk about that later. Anybody else with hallelujah? Hallelujah to the Most High for life, for family, for my Isha, for opportunities. Life would be nothing without opportunity. And it's up to you to realize what the opportunity is and know if it's from the Creator that you should take it. And if it's not from the Creator, then of course not. But then life is all about opportunities and whether or not you perceive. So I just say hallelujah for that. For growth, and y'all here, myself, Maisha, just, looking at where you were and kind of mapping out where you've been, kind of like how you said, you saw adversity, and now you see how you benefit now from adversity that you thought was pointless. But, it all works out. You just gotta continue to believe that it will. So, hallelujah. Anybody online with any hallelujah? Shabbat shalom to everybody online. Yasmin, is your mic unmuted or you just? Okay, yep. You got a hallelujah, Yasmin? Okay, no sweat. And so you said you had a hallelujah? You did? I thought, no, that's not what you said. Okay, no sweat. All right, well, anyway. Let's do praise and worship. Oh, we will have children's Shabbat is 5 and up though. So for all those 5 and up, y'all will be having children's Shabbat with Lala after praise and worship. We'll go into children's Shabbat. So that being said, let us stand. We give praise to the Most High. All of us have to go into the night of God, but can you please take the No. I think it's you. Do a solo song, right? And then they'll give you a suggestion after that. But you gotta get the opportunity. How
I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do. 'Cause I need you more and more. I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do. 'Cause I need you more and more. More and more. More and more. More and more, more and more. I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do. 'Cause I need you more and more, more and more. More and more, more and more, more and more. I'm chasing after Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. And there's none like you. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. And there's none like you. You are El, you are King. You are author and creator of everything. The great I am, worthy of all the you live from the cross. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. Oh yeah, you are the source of my life. And there's none like like the menorah, sound so loud. Worship our Abba, we will sing from the praise to every name. It's Shabbat today, time to worship. Like the menorah, sound so loud. Worship our Abba.
I'm gonna get you the songbook and then you gonna lead certain verses, you know, if that's
You gotta come back though.
hallelujah, hallelujah. Break me down, oh, break me down. I just want you to break me down. Break me down, build me up. Break me down, build me up again. I won't give up, no, I won't give in. I will want you to break me down. Break me down, come on. Break me down. Oh, break me down. I will want you to break me down. Break me down, we'll be up again. I won't give up, I won't give in. I will want to break me down. One more time. Break me down. Oh, break me down. I will want to
give up, no, I won't give in. I will want to break me down.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Come and cry your wild free.
Let's sing all the days together. And the years that we do. So we sing praises. Praises to Yahweh. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praises, praises to Yahweh. Hallelujah. Praises to Yahweh. Nobody love, nobody desire. We said, praise, praises to Yahweh. Hallelujah.
I'm used to it.
Okay, what we're gonna do now is give time for the yellow to transition to children Shabbat. Have the adults get their books and, things out for our Shabbat for the Torah portion.
Little people. You guys line up in the hallway. Bye. Leah didn't get her book yet. Zaire, you staying with me? Yes, Zaire stays. Let's go. Over there, you're not gonna go. Come on, she's fine.
Service, Shalom. Service is not over, right?
Tonight, what's the matter? Aren't you going? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's phone fire. That's my baby. My brother, he's 16 now, 17. But he was 12. He was like 12. Yeah, but I'm 5'6", 5'7", probably about 5 now, 5'5". There, all my brothers are tall. Except the youngest one. You know, I'm the size of 7. Ryan, you know, look at that. I look at that from the give me all this, man.
That's my call. We just waiting on them to get. So, special brother. Alright, so we're gonna be in the portion in a little bit, waiting on sis to get back. Of Teruma, which is in Shemot, commonly called Exodus. 25, starting at verse 1 to 27, starting at verse 19. And the portion is Teruma, which means gift or contribution. So it's a gift or contribution. So once Coach gets back, I'm gonna put. This is only 3 chapters. I was gonna just read through and then come back and cover some points. But if you guys have questions in the middle or in the midst of it, of me reading, just let me know, and then we can go from there. We're in the book of Shemot, commonly called Exodus, chapter 25. And it reads, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering. Of every man that gives it willingly with his heart, he shall take my offering. And this is the offering which he shall take of them: gold and silver and brass and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and ram skins dyed red and badger skins and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet incense, onyx stones and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show you, the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall you make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, within and without shall you overlay it. And you shall make upon it a crown of gold round about. And you shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. 2 rings shall be on one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. And you shall make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be carried with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. You shall put into the ark the testimony which I shall give you. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth thereof. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of beaten work shall you make them, and the 2 ends of the mercy seat, and make 1 cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall you make the cherubim on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubim be. And you shall put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark shall you put the testimony that I shall give you. And there I will meet with you, and I will commune with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim, which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I give you in commandment unto the children of Israel. You shall also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And you shall make unto it a border of an hand breadth round about, and you shall make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be for the places of the staves to bear the table. And you shall make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And you shall make the dishes thereof, and the spoons thereof, and the covers thereof, and the bowls thereof, to cover withal of pure gold shall you make them. And you shall set upon the table showbread before me always. And you shall make a menorah of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the menorah be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it. 3 branches of the menorah out of the one side, and 3 branches of the menorah out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto the almonds, with a knot, and a flower in one branch. 3 bowls like made like almonds, and the other branch was a knot and a flower. So are the 6 branches that come out of the menorah. And in the menorah shall be the 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knots and their flowers. And there shall be a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the menorah. Their knots and their branches shall be of the same, and it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And you shall make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongs thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof, shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall it be made, with all these vessels. And look that you made them after their pattern, which was showed to you in the mount. Any question on chapter 25? I will keep it. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, in blue, and purple, and scarlet. With cherubim of cutting work shall you make them. The length of one curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. And every one of the curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and the 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And you shall make loops of the blue upon the edge of the one curtain, from the south edge in the coupling. And likewise shall you make it in the uttermost edge of another curtain, in the coupling of the second. 50 loops shall you make in the one curtain. 50 loops shall you make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one of another. And you shall make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches, and it shall be one tabernacle. And you shall make curtains of goat's hair to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shall you make. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits. And the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And you shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and shall double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And you shall make 50 loops on the edge of one curtain that is outmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the second, in the edge of the curtain which couples the second. You shall make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, in a cubit on one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remains in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle, on this side and on that side, to cover. And you shall make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering above the badger skin. And you shall make boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood. Standing up, 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of the board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order, one against another. Thus shall you make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And you shall make the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards on the south side, southward. You shall make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tendons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tendons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, On the north side, there shall be 20 boards. And there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, 2 sockets under another board. And for the side of the tabernacle westward, you shall make 6 boards. And 2 boards shall you make for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for 2 corners. And there shall be 8 boards, and there are sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. You shall make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 boards for the boards other side of the tabernacle for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the board shall reach from end to end. And you shall overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars. You shall overlay the bars with gold. And you shall rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was showed to you in the mountain. And you shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen of cunning work, with cherubim shall it be made. You shall hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver. And you shall hang up the veil under the attachments, that you may bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the set apart and the most set apart. And you shall put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most set apart. And you shall set the table without the veil, and the menorah over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. You shall put the table on the north side. And you shall make a hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen wrought with needlework. And you shall make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold. You shall cast 5 sockets of brass for them.
I got a question. So he keeps saying, as I showed you in the mountain, so this is specifically talking Moses Shay?
Yeah, okay, I was gonna ask you that question.
Oh, hi.
Okay, but there's one that question, so I asked you later.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's fine. Chapter 27. Let me put the chart. It's
Right, I'm about to say, this is like putting together furniture, like I need to be able to see the instructions. That was a lot.
Yeah, this,
yeah.
ain't no picture for it either, just straight instructions.
Right.
Ain't like layout, nothing.
That's exactly.
Yeah, that's intense.
I need y'all to help me. And you shall make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. You shall make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same. You shall overlay it with brass. You shall make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof you shall make of brass. And you shall make it for a grate of network of brass. And upon the net shall you make 4 brazen rings, and the 4 corners thereof. And you shall put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And you shall make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with board shall you make it, as it was showed you in the mount, so shall you make it. And you shall make the court of the tabernacle to the south side southward. There shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side, and the 20 pillars thereof, and their 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side and lean, there shall be hanging of 100 cubits long, and its 20 pillars and the 20 sockets of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of the 50 cubits, their 10 pillars and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side, eastward, shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3 and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3 and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be a hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And their pillars shall be 4 in their sockets, 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 every way, and the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. Hallelujah. All right, that's the end of Teruma. Now we got some questions, then we go on to the conversation. All right. And since you said, was this strictly for Moshe, right? Based on what you see now.
I mean, okay, so his reference kept saying, as I showed you the mountain, nobody else but him and Aharon.
Him and Joshua, but even then there was a separation between Moshe and Joshua.
Okay, so basically he was the only one that was made it to the top of the mountain.
He was the only one up there.
So basically the Most High gave him the vision
Okay.
for this, for him to be able to show the people what it's supposed to look like.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So not only is he showing him the vision, he's also giving instruction at the same time.
Right.
Right. So, but it takes, how long is he up there in the mountain?
40 days.
Okay, so this is a 40-day period. So all of this is written, within 2 chapters, but this is over a 40-day period of him going through, seeing what needs to be made, how it's made, of what materials is it made, where is it played, all of this is in 40 days, right? You have the same, who else is showing the same thing? Anybody?
No.
Uzi? That's a good guess. No. Uzi, I can't hear you talking up.
Solomon.
You said who? I can hear you, but you're very low. If somebody else hear him, then can you let me know what you said?
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Was it Shalomo?
No, sir. I get why you're saying that, because he built the temple, but he wasn't the one that was shown that. Okay, so now based on that, there are two people who was given like the same thought, right? Okay, so Melech David, based on he was given the vision and gave it to Shlomo, which is why Shlomo was able to build. And then there was a prophet. Somebody tell me who the prophet was, please. Yes, sir. Ezekiel. The 3rd temple. So you go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 40. And from 40, really to the end of the book. So from Ezekiel chapter 40 all the way to verse 48, not only is Ezekiel getting instructions for the 3rd temple, which is yet to be built, but he's also getting instructions for allotments for the tribes of Israel. So when we return to Israel, what will be the allotments or the lands of inheritance, as well as where the temple will be. So not only for Israel, but also for the stranger. So that's how you know that strangers or those who are not Israel will be in the New Jerusalem, quote unquote, right? Because they actually have an inheritance, which is the stranger who took to the ways of Yah before having to be forced to take to the ways of Yah. So you have King David, Noah, I even take Noah because he was shown the ark. So Noah was shown the ark, David was shown the 1st temple, Ezekiel was shown the 3rd temple in a sense. Okay, so when the Most High shows you something specific, right? How was that process for you? How was that process for y'all? Right, I'm not, was gonna give it away, but how was that process for y'all? Has the Most High shown you something? And was it as soon as he showed it to you, you know exactly what to do and how to do it, and all you needed was one time? No? Oh, so it takes time. So even though the Most High is showing Moshe what it looks like, and he's giving him instruction, right? Which one is more important? The instruction or the example or the vision? Which one is more important?
I would say the instruction.
The instructions?
I was gonna say the vision.
Yeah, the vision.
I mean, you can tell somebody how to do something, but if you're not showing them, they're not necessarily understand.
Okay.
I'm about to say, because we just sat here, we read it, and I can tell you right now, everybody in this room is baffled by the words that was on this page.
Okay.
But if you were seeing,
I know what.
but if you were to see it, like, you know what I'm saying, you would know, like, you would understand it. So you would see the person, and the instructions would be like, okay, I do remember it's supposed to look like this, so I understand why he's saying put this here, put this there.
Okay. Go ahead, Sean.
And I was gonna say, isn't that, like the concept of the Shia, they had the Torah, then the Most High brought a person or a man to show you how to operate the Torah, basically.
I understand that. I'm not gonna get on into that, but I do understand that. Most I said David was also an example of what it's like, but I get what you said. I get what you said. But yeah, so like you said, if I just gave you instructions, you just read this, and it's gonna look completely different to you if you try to build it than me. Which is why the Most High said, look, the way I showed it to you,
Right.
that's the way it's supposed to be done. Which also shows us that, yes, you have Torah, right? But as I said, which I'm gonna use, right? Even as the Messiah walked and as those who were righteous before him walked, that's why we have the book, in order to read and visualize what it looks like. And then not only this, but in our day and time, who are you looking at to model yourself after? Yeah, you got the book. They lived 3,000 years ago. Imagine their life compared to our life now. So what the marriages look like then, for the most part, they're gonna look similar, but they're not gonna look the same because we have different components. We're not all in one place. Our sisters are working.
Like Hebrew slaves.
Yes, they're all working like Hebrew slaves.
That's a year.
Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, stop it. But I get it. So there are things that our ancestors didn't have to deal with that we have to deal with. Social media, TV, and all of the distractions that we have. So walking it out and being balanced now is not going to be the way it was then. But you still have the instructions, but where is your model? Where is your model?
And is your vision being blurred by all of the different distractions?
Ooh. Okay, I like that. Okay, are you able to see clearly? Do you see clearly, or are you truly distracted by stuff that you think looks good, but it's not according to the pattern that the Creator showed you? Where's the pattern that the Most High showed you? Not what you thought worked but didn't work, not what your pattern looks like, but what about the Creator's pattern? Because that's the one that's going to last. Because the tabernacle was for what?
His place to communicate with them.
Communicate. There's another word that I believe is, in order to communicate, he would have to do this, is the word I'm looking for. But can, to dwell. So in order to, it's not together, it's only you. But yeah, he has to dwell. So are you building something that's going to allow the Creator to dwell with? Or are you just building? Those are two totally different things. Because we can build a lot, but is the Most High saying, all right, boom, I approve of that, let me go. It's your households, your children, your marriages, at your job. Are you even supposed to be working the job that you're working? Or are you building somebody else's temple for another deity that is not yours? Is he going to dwell? That's one of the main points. Now go all the way back to chapter 25, right? All the way back to chapter 25, verses 1 through 9. Y'all can read the book. I'll read it over.
You go back to the book, right?
Yes, ma'am. So Shemot chapter 25, verses 1 through 9. It says, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering of every man that gives it willingly with his heart, he shall take my offering. And this is the offering which you shall take of them: gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet, and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skins, dyed red, and badger skins, and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod, in a breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, remember, that I may dwell among them, according to the pattern that I showed, according to all that I showed you, the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall you make it. So what do you guys see in verses 1 to 9? What are some things that y'all can pull out? Okay, Akeem. I got you.
I would say, I would kind of say like, it's like, kind of like making a home where you come home and feel comfortable in. It's, you set it up the way you want it to be. And I feel like the Most High is giving them instructions that way. They have the proper things in order for him to be able to dwell. But it's not just only about him dwelling in it. I feel like it's also him teaching them something different at the same time as well too. But yeah, what I get from this is like it's like him giving them the instructions and them following the proper instructions for him to dwell. So it's like, do it this way and this will happen if you do it the correct way.
I want to come back.
Go ahead, Sean.
One thing that caught my attention was verse 2, where it talks about every man that gives willing with his heart. Because I thought about when I was younger, when I would do something, or anyone else would do something to each other, as our brothers. My mom would force us to apologize, give each other a hug. It would be better if we could do that without problems. But it's still right.
I'm gonna touch on that too. Go ahead, Akeem.
I guess what's sticking out to me is saying this, about everyone else. The aspect of the free will offering. That the Most High is giving Moshe instructions to do this. He's not requiring the people to do anything. And it just shows me, like, even now, like, to do the will of the Most High, it's going to take a collective effort. I mean, yeah, we all have our individual 12 out at the same time. It all takes a little bit of everyone to carry with the Most High.
Okay, absolutely. Cole?
Okay, so in my thought process, I did a contribution, but I was seeing the things you were asking them to contribute and wondering if like how in modern time that's like precious to people is something hard for them to give away. So he's asking them in a sense to maybe humble themselves and give what they think is important to them to him, so that he can show them what really should be important to them.
Okay. Nicole?
I got it. He said it.
Okay. Anyone online? No, y'all ain't talking to me. That's fine. Okay, and everything that y'all said collectively is what should be taken out, right? One, you have the aspect of the free will offering, right? You understand this is for the temple, right? Okay. And it is going to take a collective effort. Shlomo, you're correct. It takes a collective effort. About precious stuff, right? Precious, y'all all touched on points. So precious stuff, first and foremost. Where did they get this stuff from?
They got it from
Egypt.
Egypt.
When they were pilfering, and he told them to have them give them stuff. Like he would soften their hearts so they can give them stuff prior to leave.
Absolutely. And now he's asking for it back. So has the Most High placed you in a position to get something just for you to give it away? And are you willing to do that? Which goes back to the willing heart. He placed you in a position to mass whatever, what wealth, cars, skills, whatever the Most High has given you in order for you to be able to put it towards something that he's asking you to put it towards. But it's precious to you. My career in this particular place is precious to me. I don't want to leave this state because it's precious to me. I've built my life here, but he's telling you to go somewhere else. Is your heart willing enough to leave it? Knowing that he's the one who gave it to you.
It's hard, but yes.
Yeah, I know it's hard, which is why he didn't say I'm a for it. He said, whose ever heart is willing. Which means what? Even if there's something that's needed to be done for the Creator, not everybody's heart is willing to do that. So you may be in a room full of people and you got a great plan. Look, the Most High told us to do this, this, and this, so on and so forth. Everybody's heart is not going to be built towards doing it. Did the Most High kick them out the camp for those who didn't give? No, it's just, okay, you're just not a part of the building process. But if the Most High dwells in the midst of everybody, you're still going to benefit from it. But that doesn't mean that the Most High is going to increase you the way he's going to increase those who did the work. You just benefit on the minimum because you just happen to be amongst us.
And some people have to have, like we talked about in the beginning, the vision. Like some people just have the free will to give, right? And then that in turn may give somebody the vision. Like me seeing you give and the Most High working for you may give me a vision to see what I need to be working towards for myself.
Okay, and even with that, right? That's where I was gonna go. What has the Most High showed you that we should be contributing to? Like it's not the temple cast. We get it. The Most High, he told them to build a temple, right? But there are some things in you, right? I'm just picking on you because I know what the Most High told you to do, so you stuck. Most High told you to do a lot, right? Whether it's with the body butters and stuff like that, but mostly even with the baking, right? So how can we help you with that? How can we contribute to that? That's something that's going to allow the Most High to dwell amongst us. One, from the cooking, from being healthy, so on and so forth. We contribute to you in order to do that. Uzi's in barber school. If he need help with books, okay, so we should be contributing towards that. Wow. If he gets his stuff situated, and then now he's a barber, now he gets his own shop, now he's able to not only train, but employ young men who are looking for something to do. That helps with the kingdom. So what is it that the Most High has given you a place inside of you that we can contribute to for those with a willing heart?
Don't forget Lynette, the songbird.
Oh, yeah.
You get her too.
Like, he always has, like, prayers, I'll give this to you. And how much, but we have to also have that mindset over, because I'm a giving person as well, but just to be cautious, I'll ask, and I have that mindset. We're doing things, she'll ask me, okay, what do you like to do? Blankets, and it's like, okay, let's do the shea butter.
Okay.
We're gonna do, but with that mindset of like being able to make these things and then like not really hard, but being able to as a community give to each other, that having that willingness, like you said, having those guys, making sure that we're not just like lacking because we're all giving to each other based off of what needs and necessities and what craft.
Which goes back to community. Like you said not bartering, but yes, bartering. If I know that Anastasia cooks or Joseph cooks, so on and so forth, right? So boom, I don't have to cook, I don't, but I don't necessarily have to do any of that, right? But I know that he does it. He has children. All right, boom, let us watch the children. You make sure that we fed and that we not asking. And now we got music.
For example,
Okay, Sukkot. So eat, long as you make the fire, you'll be good. You'll be fed. We'll make sure your family good. You just do the fire because I don't want to burn myself. Y'all make staff. Y'all do this part. We do that part. We work as a community. All of these things, everybody didn't have all of these items that he's asking for. It's a piece from you. It's a piece from you. It's a piece from you, and we come together and we make something for the Creator. Okay.
Oh, one thing I was thinking about, you have some people that may be struggling, let's say like math or maybe speaking to people or certain areas. And if one person had, 10 different gifts, they probably wouldn't be able to use all those gifts because they're on one person. But if one person has this gift, another person has this gift, you can reach more people because multiple people instead of one person having 10, 20 different gifts.
Okay. It's about the collective. That's why the Most High, he constantly speaks about what I mean.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to, I like talk about the word billing. I feel like that's that's like a heavy hitter right there. Reason why I want to talk about it is because I feel like it reflects obviously in all our lives, but tends to be, we got to be willing in this entire walk to do a lot of things, and I feel like that's what the Most High definitely is in this particular section which you're teaching right now is what it's going to take in terms of moving forward and completing what we need to complete. And willing is a very, very, very key factor in our lives. Also, I feel like willing and sacrifice is like kind of like intertwined with each other, kind of like combines itself. Willing and I'm just sitting here reflecting, hearing about just how this all kind of like came together, even though it's like you're not even done yet. But like just hearing the small portion is just it's so deep. That's what I've been. That's been like the majority of my hope for the last. I can't even tell ever since like y'all has been grooming me. Even though I came into the truth like a year or two ago, I know he's been grooming me in order for me to receive the full truth. And I would have never been able to make it this far if I wasn't willing to do the things that I was that requires me to make it this far. Yeah, I just wanted to give praises to the Most High for giving me the strength to be able to whatever it is in this life right here. So.
The Most High isn't able, right? I know it's crazy, right? But he's not able to do anything that you are not willing to receive. He's not going to force you to take any of his blessings. So if you don't take it, and he's not going to give it to you. It's just not going to happen. So that's why the aspect of having a willing heart is so important. That's going to take you from place to place to place.
I think a lot of the issue about what you were saying earlier about the Most High situation where you have from where you're comfortable and get out of the job that you're comfortable in. Most of us in here possibly losing our jobs. With that and with the lessons that we're going on today about letting the Most High be your refuge, again, trusting the Creator. I think a lot of times there's a fear of like not feeling like you can depend on each other. Not saying like not one person to depend on, but like a lot of us know how we are as a community. And we have to like work harder on that to be able to feel like we can like let our guard down and be willing to, also trust in the Most High, because that's first and foremost for trusting in anyone. So with that, like, just like me personally, I'll say like I'm working on that with being able to do that because there's a oh, what's gonna happen? What's this? What's that? What am I gonna do? But just like I said before, with us being able to help each other, being able to, be uncomfortable to do what the Creator maybe has something better for you. Maybe not at that moment, but like the complaining and oh, what was me, and like just not trusting each other, just worrying about what's gonna happen. Just going into a rant. I've done it. I've had a situation where I'm just like, oh my God, this is gonna be worse than. But I think a lot of that can be just building up a faith, because we have to have that work. And we have to be trusting each other. As his sons and daughters, him first, and then start working on trusting each other. What happened? I'm not perfect at it now, but
We're all walking toward perfection. Right? So the main thing is faith. You're not going to be willing to do anything without the faith first. So having the faith first and foremost in the Creator will allow you to have faith in each other. Because your faith in Him is going to say, all right, well, whatever happens, I know you got me. So whoever it comes from, that's who it's going to come from, and I know you got it. And you're also going to bless them for blessing me. That's what He said He would do. I'll bless those who bless you, curse those who curse you. So if you have faith in that and faith in Him, then you have no problem saying, all right, look, take this, do what you need to do, and whatever. But at the end of the day, the Most High put it on me to give you. That's the whole concept of where He's trying to get us as a family. That's what He wanted from the beginning. So, all right, boom. So now I got a question in regards to colors of the Mishkan. So, not the colors of the flag, but the colors of the material. What are those colors again?
scarlet, purple.
Not the colors of the flag, but yes. And we're gonna touch on those two. All right, there are three main. Let me say main, because y'all don't give me all of them.
Okay.
Three main materials.
Blue, purple, and scarlet.
You say it again, but those three main colors / they are both colors and they are materials. Maybe if I say that, then
Okay, then definitely scarlet.
Linen.
all right.
Not scarlet?
Either verse. No, it is not the colors of the flag, which are blue, purple, and scarlet. We're gonna come to those, but not right now.
That's messed up. I thought that.
All right, let me see. Three main colors and then flag colors. Let me just put this on the board so y'all get points. Flag colors. Yeah. Flag colors are what?
Scarlet, purple, and blue.
So scarlet, purple, and blue. All right, boom. So we got scarlet, purple, and blue. Now, can we get the three main colors or materials, please?
Rat skin dye red. No, I'm still in the wrong spot. Okay, I was like, gold. Oh, the bronze. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. Totally on my page.
It's a metal.
I said colors, materials.
Fabric.
Yeah, material, people think about fabric.
Yeah.
You messed us up.
No, don't do
Okay,
that.
I was being.
I know. All right, so we have the three: gold, silver, and bronze. Where was all the gold? Well, most of the gold was where?
Sorry.
You said heaven?
The devil. Sorry.
Well, that's where all the gold is. Florida.
You take it, your
It's
question.
in Manila.
Where was the gold in the Mishkan?
Under the bed.
Under the bed? Under the bed?
Under the bed.
No, sis. Where was?
Overlaying the furniture.
Say that again, sis.
It covered the furniture.
Yes, it covered the furniture, like what? What did it cover? The gold was on what?
The altar,
The
the
table,
table, the super candlestick,
the menorah,
the cherubim and altar.
the ark,
The set apart things,
yeah, utensils.
most set apart things on the table,
All right, right, so we got table, we got menorah, the ark, utensils.
behind the curtain in the tabernacle.
Yes, it was in the most holy and the holy. So the most set apart and the set apart. Where was the silver? Yeah, I know, it was a lot of reading, but you know.
On the sockets.
Uh-huh, so that was on the out, so it was still in the most holy and holy
Is the court,
outside.
outside court? Like where the, washing of the hands before you got into, is it like on the ram, where the ram's horn is
It's on the pillar
outside?
hooks.
So where?
On the curtains?
Yes, it's on the curtains, which is inside,
Oh.
it's inside. And yes, it was on the outside curtain for the curtains, okay? So it was on the curtains. All right, where was the bronze?
The bowl, sorry, the basin,
Yes, the basin.
Pretty much anything we implemented.
So no, where was it? Was it,
outside,
it was where?
in the court, outside.
Okay, the courtyard. It's in the courtyard. All right, so, Uzi, K, Ark of the Covenant and the curtains, absolutely. So, these three colors, they mean something. Let's go through a couple of scriptures and then we'll go through. So let's go to Zechariah, Zechariah chapter 13. Zechariah chapter 13. And I'm going to read starting at verse 8. So Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. All right, it reads. Well, if y'all there, y'all there. All right, that's it. I'll let you out. 13:8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, says Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my Elohim. Hallelujah. I want to go to the book of Ecclesiasticus. It's not in, it's in the Apocrypha. Just give me a second, it's only one verse. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, this is chapter 2, verse 5. And it says, so I'm going to read verse 1 so y'all can kind of see where it's going. My son, if you come to serve Yah, prepare your soul for temptation. Set your heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that you may be increased at your last end. Whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully and be patient when you are changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him and he will help you. Order your way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest you fall. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Hallelujah. Which means what? What does that say again?
Gold is tried and tested.
And the acceptable man in the furnace of affliction. That means that if you have not been tried, he don't know you yet. But gold, right? Most holy and in the holy. Silver, we read, right? I want to go to silver. So gold, let me give you our definition, which is zahab, is gold as in the metal or the measure, but it's also brilliance and splendor. It means brilliance and splendor. Silver means kesef, or is kesef, which means either silver or money. Let's go to the book of Shemot or Exodus, chapter 30. So, Akeem. Chapter 30, we're going to go to verse 11.
That's some good things.
Definitely that Ecclesiastes, because I don't want y'all to miss that. There is no, you can't walk with the Creator and expect him at the beginning not to try to bust you. He's going to test you at the beginning. You're going to wake up in the morning, he's going to pour water in your face early in the morning. Because
Yeah, I get you through the boot camp.
boot camp is boot camp. If you make it to boot camp, now you can say you're a part of this military. Now you're a soldier. But if you don't make it through boot camp, are you a part of the army, military? Nah. You go home.
That's trash.
You go home. So silver, Shemot chapter 30, verse 11, and it reads, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, when you take the sum of the children of Israel after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul unto Yahuwah. When you number them, that there be no plague among them, when you number them, this they shall give, everyone that passes among them that are numbered, half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary. A shekel is 20 dirhams. And half shekel shall be the offering of Yahuwah. Everyone that passes among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering unto Yahuwah. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less than a half a shekel. When they give an offering unto Yahuwah to make an atonement for your souls. And you shall take the atonement money of the children of Israel, and shall appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the assembly, that it be for a memorial unto the children of Israel before Yahuwah, to make an atonement for your souls. Let's go to the book of Yeshua, commonly called Isaiah, chapter 43. Isaiah chapter 43. We're going to read 1 through 4. Yeshayahu, commonly called Isaiah, chapter 43, verses 1 through 4. And it reads, but now thus said Yahuwah that created you, O Yaakov, and he that formed you, O Yisrael, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon you. For I am Yahweh, your Elohim, the set apart one of Israel, your Savior. I gave Israel for your ransom, Cush and Seba for you. Since you were precious in my sight, you have been honorable, and I have loved you. Therefore will I give men for you and people for your life. Hallelujah. And so we see silver, so we see gold is tried, it's purified, it is pure. Silver, I ain't gonna tell y'all yet. Let's go to brass or bronze. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Dabarim, commonly called Deuteronomy chapter 28. 1 verse 23. So of course, this is the aspect of the curse. Deuteronomy, commonly called Dabarim, commonly called Deuteronomy 28:23. And it reads, and your heaven that is over your head shall be brass or bronze, and the earth that is under you shall be iron. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 8. Oh, chapter 6, verse 28. So Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 28. We'll start at verse 26. So Jeremiah 6:26. O daughter of my people, gird you with sackcloth and wallow in your ashes. Make you mourning, as for an only son, most bitter lamentation for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. I have set you for a tower and a fortress among my people, that you may know and try their way. They are all grievous, revolters, walking with slanderers. They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters. The bellows are burned, the land is consumed of the fire. The founder melts in vain, for the wicked are not plucked away. Reprobate silver shall man call them, because Yahuwah has rejected them. So bronze or brass is being referred to as corrupt, slander, revolt. Yirmiyahu, chapter 39. So same book, chapter 39. We'll start at verse 6. We'll start at verse 4. 39, verse 4. And it reads, and it came to pass that when, I hate this name, Zidkiyahu, the king of Yehuda, saw them and all the men of war, then they fled and went forth out of the city by night, by the way of the king's garden, by the gate betwixt the two walls. And he went out of the way of the plain. And the Kasdim army pursued after them and overtook Zidkiyahu and the plains of Jericho. And when they had taken him, they brought him up to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, to Riblah in the land of Kamah, where he gave judgment upon them. Then the king of Babel slew the sons of Zidkiyahu in Riblah before his eyes. Also the king of Babel slew all the nobles of Yehuda. Moreover, he put out Zidkiyahu's eyes and bound him with chains to carry him to Babel. That word chains there is bronze or brass, nekoseph. Right? So nekoseph, when you go all the way down to the root, is Nakash, which we know the Nakash, the serpent, serpent who gathered, right? So these three colors. What do y'all get from brass?
Heavy.
Okay.
Used to bind.
Used to bind, like that one. It is.
Maybe a stronghold. Maybe bronze I'll be there before the stronghold. Can I say that?
Yes, you can.
Ooh, okay.
Bronze, they say, is equivalent to judgment, which is interesting because it's where? Where is it again?
In the courtyard.
In the courtyard. The bronze makes up what again? What is made out of bronze? The basin.
The altar and the lava.
The altar.
Altar.
Okay, the altar. Where you do what? Where you atone, where you sacrifice the animals. What should be your judgment? That's the judgment that you have earned through sin. The judgment is death. For the wages of sin is pain. That's your judgment, right? Silver, what do y'all get from that?
I was good. Somebody.
Redemption or atonement. The silver on top, the silver is placed right at the curtains. That's what holds the curtains together. So before you go from the courtyard into the holies of most holies, you have to pass through silver, or you have to be atoned for. So you can't even get into the presence without being atoned for, which means that you have escaped this. So if you're coming from the outer courts, right, which is where all the nations will be, into the inner courts, now you go into redemption and atonement, and gold is what? What do you think gold is? Huh?
Like dwelling.
Mercy.
Okay, mercy, right? The
That's
mercy,
why he keeps speaking about how pure it has to be.
okay, is pure. The goal is pure. Shalom, Eden, wholeness. This is where you get the what of Yah. The presence of Yah. So you go from judgment on the outside, right? Which is why they said what is better than what? Obedience is better than sacrifice. Because you wouldn't even have to be out here. This is where Eden was. Eden is in the presence of the Creator. You wouldn't need redemption or judgment if you just obeyed. You would be in the presence, which is, when you look at Adam, he was what in the garden? He was whole, but what happened to Adam in the garden?
Kicked out.
He was what?
Kicked out.
Yeah, he was kicked out for what?
Being disobedient.
Okay, during what? What did he fail?
His instruction. What did he fail? Being.
Yeah.
What did he fail?
The Most High.
Thank you. He failed the test. So Ronnie said what? That the acceptable man is tried or tested in the furnace of affliction. The serpent tested him to see whether or not he should stay in the holies of holies. He was tested. Look, you can be just like Elohim. When fool, you're already in the midst of Elohim. What more do you need? You're complete. So when he failed, he got judged and kicked out. He was no longer in the presence. But he got redemption on the way out. He went from here, the redemption was the covering of the animal, and then he got kicked out. That was his judgment. Now we are trying to go from judgment to atonement to wholeness. Some would say that this is Ben Yosef, I would say Ben Yosef, or the priest 2,000 years ago, just so nobody get confused on one of my leaders. But those who know this is 2,000 years ago. Now you have the ability to get here. So the Most High was always showing us the way back to him through the materials used. Now let's get to the flag colors. Well, does anybody have any questions on this part? From judgment to atonement to wholeness. Yeah.
But the Most High was still with Adam, but not the way he wasn't close to him.
Do you hear about the Most High? Well, I can't say that you don't. But do you hear about the Most High conversing with Adam anymore?
Only his sons.
Do you hear about the Most High and Adam ever having communication after he got kicked out?
No, only his sons.
So you can say that he possibly spoke to Adam after that, but it was never like the connection they had in the garden. Those are two different communications. That's like somebody being in the room with you conversing and somebody being in the living room with you in the room. Y'all like in the same area, but it's gonna be hard to really have a conversation because we're not intimately close.
It's like COVID happened, we had to start virtually talking to everybody.
96 feet apart. Death is between. But go to can you have him? Yeah. No.
That's probably my thoughts.
Yeah. I saw those. Okay, anybody have any more questions on this one? You good? Okay. All right, boom. Now let's deal with the flag colors. What do y'all know about these three colors? Scarlet, purple, blue. Yes, sir.
They represent the representation of the sky.
Okay, all three can be found in the sky. Absolutely.
Huh?
Right, go ahead, Akeem, and then I got you. Well, no, let me, because you different. Let me go to his first, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, jeez. The question is, what do you know about the three colors that were in the temple, which are scarlet or red, purple, and blue? Go ahead, sis. So purple represents royalty, which it does.
And all three could be found where?
All three can be found in the sky. If you look at when, what, sunset, sunrise, and you look outside, you will see purple, you will see blue, and you will see scarlet.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, no problem. You said what, okay?
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Okay, so you got royalty for purple?
Scarlet too, right? I've seen, or you know,
Yeah, I've
representation of.
I've heard that, right, that scarlet is partially, I'll give you a partial royal. But that's not,
What?
I know what it means, right? And I've heard that, that's why the Pope wears it too. But there's something else. So purple is royalty, right?
I would say if you read Proverbs 31, we talk about they talk about how Scarlet, like how she clothed him in scarlet and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the first color you see.
That's right, thank you, sis. Get them.
Woo. Go ahead, Akeem. All the household are clothed with scarlet. She makes our clothing is silk and purple. Her clothing is silk and purple, but we're gonna talk about that. Go ahead, you go, son.
You want to say she clothed the slaves in scarlet?
Those colors. I don't figure out where to start. Those colors are, okay.
No, don't confuse people. Joseph, come on, Kenny.
So those colors are represented on the veil before you get into the most holies of holies. It's also represented on the high priest. It's also represented, just in totality, those colors all together represent the esteem of the Creator. I say that because even when we go back and we look at the bow that was a cross representing that the Most High will never flood and destroy the earth again. That bow is the esteem of the Creator, signifying that that's not going to happen there anymore. That same bow is also represented which Navi seen it. He was talking about the esteem of the Creator. He's seen the rainbow around the Creator's seat. And that was classified as the esteem of the Creator. So all three of those colors represent the esteem of the Creator. As you break them down, it actually has specific meanings to them too. Which escapes me at the time, but in total, when you have those colors together, it's the esteem of the Creator.
Rainbow. Yes.
When she get her house ready for the snow, is it scarlet?
It says, because you and him stayed up there above me. 31:21. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all of her household are clothed with scarlet. Yes.
So maybe protection.
Joy.
Oh, and around protection because what's that? The harlot that was outside of the wall of Jericho had scarlet. And also when she had her twin, she put scarlet around her ankle to know which one was his wrist. You know what I'm saying? You know, trying to identify a child and not person.
Scarlet represents earth or blood. Scarlet represents the earth or blood. Okay, it's earth. So when you're looking at for those who happen to look at UV or like colors, red is at the bottom. Even when you're looking at your quote unquote chakras and all that, right? Red is at the bottom. What I keep?
Even like when kids learn in school, like boy GPS. That's always.
Okay, because red is the has the least amount of, I think it's the frequency, like light frequency. Red is the lowest. That's your base. That's earth. That's blood. Blue is what? Blue is.
I feel like we was going somewhere else to use the context clues.
In a sense, yes, because this is blue is heaven.
Oh.
So you got heaven and earth.
Firmament.
Okay. Okay, the
That sounds
firmament.
good. Yeah.
Blue represents the heaven or the spirit. Now, something very interesting.
Oh, look, it's the color of your sky.
Red and blue make what?
And blue and purple.
Okay. Red and blue make purple. The Most High is giving you a representation of the perfect mix, the royal mix of earth and heaven. When these are mixed together, right? Because you are man, but you also have a spirit. So when you are balanced, you are royal.
We need some French in that color.
What I mean?
Yes. No, I was gonna read from Chazon's Revelation was talking about the I can't find it nowhere else. I know it's but in Revelation chapter 4, verse 3. It reads, and he who sat on the throne was like, and he who sat on the throne, and he who sat there was like a jasper and ruby stone in appearance, and there was a rainbow around the throne, like the emerald appearance. So again, going back to the esteem, and where was that? Right.
Is it house on?
Revelation.
Ezekiel was vision.
I think it was Ezekiel, where he saw the esteem around the seat of Elohim. So,
You can find
there you go.
it.
I bring it up. So you said it already.
Yeah, but that's in the book of Ezekiel as far as the rainbow as well as Revelation. But the aspect of earth and heaven or flesh and spirit being mixed together, that's what gives you the purple, which is also why it's in the sky. He shows you this in different places, this particular mixture. And then, you got the gold everywhere, which is representing purity or shalom or wholeness. So all of the colors, all of the materials, all of this represents something. Then you have the aspect of getting the instruction, but also knowing what it looks like. So yeah, somebody can say, "Oh, y'all get together, have," I don't know who told y'all to have 12 children, but have 12 children and raise them how they're supposed to be raised.
Real close.
If somebody can tell you that, but if you never saw that or you don't really know how it looks, it's gonna be off. It could be off if you don't have instruction and a model. And
What was the last part you said it on?
a model.
Oh, they said mine.
Oh, no, a model. But that model, so say you're the first, right? Abraham. You're the first of your kind. Then where does your model come from? Exactly. The same place Moshe got the model for the temple. There was no model for that. He got it from the creator in order to now bring it forth. And then boom. So if you're the first, the creator gives you the model. So you have to go your 40 days, quote unquote, into the wilderness to make sure that Most High gives you your vision. You, the model, so then you can take it from there, and now you can say, all right, look, this is the way that the Most High showed it to me. This is what it looks like. Let's do it this way. And only those with a willing heart are going to build it. But even if some don't build with you, they are still to reap the benefits. Because it's not about you. It was about the Creator dwelling amongst them the whole time anyway. So, go ahead.
I got my thoughts. I was also going to add to that. It's when you really think about it too, and you read scripture, it's kind of a weird thought, but it's almost like the Most High is establishing himself on earth already through people. You read that when he's recruiting Bezalel and Oholiab, he puts his spirit upon them to enact the role of actually making sure that the Mishpat is built. So when I hear that, yes, you do have people that have a willing heart, but that also reads that they had a spirit of wisdom upon them to do it, whatever craft they were in. So if you're a mason, you specialize in like carpentry, metalwork, woodworking, things of that nature. Most High will give you a spirit to do that, essentially for him rather than for yourself.
Okay. What are you building? And according to what pattern? That's this particular portion. It's about building according to the pattern in order for the Creator to dwell. And knowing what you have in order to bring to the table to be as a collective one in order to make a place for the Most High to come into. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, or concerns? Anybody online? Call Tove. Okay, you said peace, Uzi. Absolutely. No questions, no comments? Oh, okay.
I forget what scripture it is, but I know the Most High says something about He will put Torah in our hearts. So in other words, when some of us are born into this world, it's in us, if I can say that, and it's just in order for us to move in accordance to allow Him to fill in, we have to make room for Him to dwell in us in order for Him to use us. I just brought that up because I feel like I'm relating it to my walk per se, because with my own experiences, my testimony is that I didn't really know the Creator, but inside of me, I always felt as if some sort of righteousness or higher power was guiding me through my each and everyday life, which is a true fact, but I was unaware of it. And I just want to give a hallelujah once more because He is so amazing. And yeah, just being able to say that He's been with me for a long time, I just feel very blessed to even be able to say that because He has truly guided me for a very, very, very long time. And I could have been somewhere very different from where I am right now. So yeah, along with a willing heart and building and creating a space for Him to dwell in you and to use you and to move you by His will and surrendering and just kind of like sacrificing. It's almost like, I don't know, like I used to have these thoughts like, yo, like one day I might have to, give it all up. And that's just truly what it is. I mean, it's like sometimes there are a lot of people, they lost their lives following the Most High in a righteous way too. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, no, I just had a question regarding, who written on the fringes. And I was thinking, we're supposed to always focus on things above, the heaven of the Most High. So when you look at the fringes, it's supposed to keep us from, committing sin. So when you see a ribbon of blue, you think of heaven. So you think about, if I do this thing, if I don't do this, I'm going to be this kingdom.
That which is above. So the blue that's never that's far away. The blue was actually kind of purplish. It was
Together, right?
Yeah, kind of together. So it was more like a bluish purple, and the way that it was made, it would never fade. Bars.
Hey,
It,
I know it.
it would never fade. So that's symbolic of the aspect of what the Creator put forth will never go away. So it was made out of a type of marble, which we don't necessarily have. Right?
So it was more.
Yeah, it was more, it was close to purple. It was like bluish purple.
Like right there on the thing.
Yeah, some purple.
Right on the track, right there.
Yeah,
Right in the middle.
probably like something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
A little bit.
But yeah, it was like that. It wasn't deep purple, but it wasn't deep purple.
So purple is actually purple.
You said purple was actually purple.
You said blue kind of looks like purple, but purple would be.
Yeah, purple would be closer probably to the color. But you know, like
Yeah.
on a rainbow, so we're talking about rainbows, you know, the big
Right.
blue right in between them.
Yes.
So maybe indigo. Anyway, are there any other questions? Are there any other questions, comments? Let me cut this off real quick. Hallelujah. Thank y'all for your attention, just keeping y'all online. All right. Yeah.